Hey Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. And why not make a video with everyone else about how Hasbro is destroying Magic? But this time, it's not just my opinion. It's not just Rudy's opinion. It's not all the Magic players' opinion. It's the opinion of investors in the stock market. Uh-oh, Raggy. That's right. So it says here Hasbro's making too many Magic the Gathering cards. Analyst says in downgrading their stock. Ooh. So overprinting Magic destroys its long-term value. Bank of America analyst says stock is the worst performer in S&P 500 today. So let's get into this a little bit because this is something we've all been talking about for a long time. But now people across the board are starting to see it, and people are just starting to get it. So don't forget, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so sub up because this is going to be a doozy. Let's go for a ride. So as we scroll down through this little article here, it says here that an oversupply of Hasbro Inc.'s Magic the Gathering cards is hurting the ecosystem of the fantasy card trading game, destroying long-term value, threatening sales. The analyst from Bank of America said shares of the toy maker slid another 9.2% during regular trading, putting the stock at a pace for its biggest percentage decline since 2020 at minus 9.86% and was the worst performer for Monday in the S&P 500. So the analyst at Bank of America has also downgraded Hasbro stock to the equivalent of sell from buy. That's two grade levels. You have buy, you have hold, and you have sell. So they said that car prices for Magic were falling after the company flooded the market with new releases. Big retailers are pulling back on orders, game stores are losing money on the game, and collectors are trying to offload their cards, the analyst said. So if you guys don't remember or you haven't heard, uh, part of the problem is there's so many sets, nothing special, and with the reprint of them reprinting the reserve list onto tokens, everybody can talk about how great that is, but that caused all the collectors to have a mass sell off of all their prized cards, causing the market to go into a big dip, causing the secondary market and the main market to just collapse. Like people aren't even buying the regular cards anymore. Because why? It's all going to get reprinted anyway. Why should we bother? So it says here, you can see it says we've spoken to several players, collectors, distributors, and local game stores and have been aware of growing frustrations, Bank of America analyst says in the note. Their primary concern is that Hasbro has been overproducing Magic cards, which has propped up Hasbro's recent results, but is destroying long-term value of the brand. So if you go down to look even further, it says here, Magic the Gathering makes up 50% of Hasbro's sales, the analyst said. Sales of the game doubled over the pandemic, driving up card prices on the secondary market, but after Hasbro tried to meet the enthusiasm of more set releases, players have struggled to keep up, leading to revert to a format that allows them to use older cards. So the increased supply has crashed secondary market prices, which has caused distributors, collectors, and local game stores to lose money on Magic. As a result, we expect they'll order less product in the future, the Bank of America analyst says. Reason why the stock is going down. And it doesn't help that they do these massive offloads all the time on Amazon. That is another problem all on itself, which actually plays into why nobody wants to look at this stuff. Now, it also says here, 7 out of the last 8 major Magic releases have declined in value. Hasbro continues to reprint its most successful sets, driving prices down even further. They continued. Our store checks have also found that many national retailers are cutting Magic, and those that continue to carry it are heavy with aged inventory, meaning they don't want no more, meaning no matter how much they print, nobody's going to buy it. So the analyst said sales growth of the game has been spurred by more frequent set releases. Audience growth, they said, hasn't kept up. Again, this is because people are running away from the game that costs too much money to just play. And it's not too much money because the reserve list, old cards cost too much. No, it's because new sets come out every 1 to 2 months, and therefore the decks change constantly. Therefore, you have to keep buying, and people just don't want to do that. They can spend $50 on a video game, play it for a month or two, spend another $50, get another video game, play it for a month or two, and it is cheaper than trying to keep up with Magic that has anywhere from $400 to $500 decks in standard, let alone older formats. Like, people just don't have the money and they don't want that kind of crap anymore. And Wizards hasn't figured that out yet, and that's why Wizards is just tanking their product. So it also says here, out of 10 analysts tracked by FastSet, 7 have a buy rating on Hasbro, 3 have a hold rating. Hasbro stock has fallen 44% so far this year, and is down 14% over that time. So it's down almost 50%. That is insane. Like, why would you want a stock to drop half of its value? Other areas are reporting that part of the problem with this is they call out the $9.99 special token set as way too much money, trying to milk their players for all the money they can to prop up a piss poor business and piss poor business model. And they're from the sounds of it, trying to drive Magic into the dirt to prop up everything else in Hasbro, which is a giant crap show, and that nobody cares about. Um, they have Wizards, they have D&D. If it wasn't for that, Hasbro would probably be out of business by now because they're just a board game company who's trying to make money off something that they know is a golden goose. And over time, they're slowly killing it. If you haven't noticed, the chief CFO, I believe it was, is magically and suddenly retiring from Hasbro, you know, because the time is right, which means I've done the most damage I can, and I'm going to leave before I get fired. Um, or I've already done all the damage they want me to do, and now they're going to ask me to leave because they're tired of the damage I can do, and they're going to try to save the product. Now, with all that said, all this at the end of the day honestly means nothing, and we can only just hope for the best. But the one shred of hope that we have from this as a Magic community is that because analysts and people who do investing and the stock market itself is calling out the company for bad business practice and piss poor ways to run their business, it's going to drive their stock down until people make them do something. Remember, Hasbro's a publicly traded company. So they can be like, oh, we're going to do this anyway, no matter what people want, because we want to make money and blah, blah, blah. Well, if the investors don't like that strategy and the investors and the analysts and the stock guys convince the investors of that, they may go to Wizards or Hasbro, excuse me, and say, hey, we don't like this. You need to change your strategy. And if they don't want to, guess what? They're going to get voted off the board. So that means no more Jabo. Or there might be a magical retirement season, as we've seen in the past. So, again, making this very public, not just in the Magic community, but in the community as a whole, through the investment world, through the market, the stock market, through business channels, calling out this poor practice gives us hope that someone at Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, or somewhere will do something to prevent them from the giant shit show that they are performing right now. Now, with that said, it will probably take up to a year for them to turn the Titanic because they print so far and schedule so much in advance that they don't have a choice. But hopefully they learn from that mistake soon, and they take the beating the next year that they rightfully deserve, losing money and more stock profit until they fix it or do something drastic to fix it. Now, with that said, we'll talk a little bit about Brothers War tomorrow and how they might be on the right track to fix it. But we'll have to wait and see because, again, too much product at the end of the day is still too much product. And if you guys are like me, and I hope you are, and you just love this game, yes, you want to invest, yes, you want to make money, and yes, you want to get the cards and have them be worth a lot because you want to invest in something that you love and you love to do. That way later in life, when you need to get rid of it, you actually get money back. It's not like buying a video game where you trade it back into GameStop for 50 cents after you paid $50 for it. But point being, this is the kind of hobby you can get into, you can enjoy, you can play the game, and then sell things off as a collectible, which was what made this game great to begin with. And anybody out there who's like, it's just a card game which only costs a few cents, if that's how you really feel about it, maybe you should go play a card game that only costs a few cents. Like one of the other ones over the course of the years that have went out of business. You can't play anymore. Those cards are a few cents, so go have fun with those. Um, so at the end of the day, guys, I hope this shines some light on it. I hope this is a brief bit of hope for all of us Magic lovers that they're going to do the right thing, get their heads out of their butts, and turn the Titanic. And maybe if we'll get lucky, see a bunch of firing in the process to, prove a point, set a tone, if you will. So, well, that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Comments down below is going to feed the YouTube algorithm. Trying to get to 1,000 peeps. Sub up. If you have subbed, thank you very much. If you are subbed, but you want to do more, don't forget links in the description. Hit me up. Until next time, be kind. And I hope to see you across from the game table.